Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? It is now Saturday, February the 17th. It's about 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we're going to talk about Ripple. So congratulations everybody. That was quite the success, wasn't it? We nailed our target with precision, and it was the perfect short-term day trade opportunity, wasn't it? I am so happy that a lot of you guys got in on this. I took a poll on my Twitter with over 2,000 people, and about 700 people took the trade, and they were incredibly profitable. They stuck to this short-term day trade opportunity setup, and we nailed it with precision. So I'm super happy that this happened. I saw it. I actually missed a lot of it, guys. Like I missed a lot of it. I took my profits a little bit too early. So I ended up shorting the market instead when it reached around 118. I shorted it pretty hard. And then I went long a few times, and then I went short a few times, and I scalped it very well. And by the end of the 1 hour little run there that it had, I was up about $1,500. So pretty happy. And I took a poll. Oh my goodness, so many people are successful with this trade, guys. I am so freaking happy. Let me just have a sip of my coffee, okay? Woo! So freaking awesome, guys. Man, like this week I have been nailing it, haven't I? I've just been nailing it with precision. This is why I don't like to do very long-term swing slash investing type of analysis, because I'm just not good at it, guys. I'm really not good at it at all. And what I specialize in is short-term trades and calling short-term and finding opportunities like this. So I really hope that a lot of you guys got in on it. Make sure you guys are upvoting this stuff on Steam if you're appreciating the material. And please also like, subscribe, and share. You guys have to make sure that you're also subscribing to me on Twitter and subscribing to me on YouTube and following me on YouTube as well. Am I saying that right? Make sure you're following me on Twitter and also subscribing to me on YouTube, because you're going to get the best of both worlds. Sometimes you're not going to get all the information in one spot, right? Because if you're on just YouTube and you're not following me on Twitter, you might miss a lot of the small updates that I'm giving throughout the day for my positions, for my thoughts in general as well. And if you're only following me on Twitter, you're gonna miss on some of the videos, simple as that. And if you guys are not following me on Steemit as well, you're gonna miss out on all the charts and all the keynotes that are extremely important. So I like to keep a very diverse platform of news, right? You can't really keep everything on one place, right? You can't keep videos on Twitter. You can't keep a blog on YouTube or on Twitter as well. So I have to have access to a written platform as well. And if you guys are absolutely killing it and you're loving my calls and you're profiting immensely, consider donating to my dog's alcoholic slash crypto slash tequila slash vodka little crypto fund there. You guys know how she loves to have her vodka every single day. But don't ever feel obligated. I'm cool. I just say that because some people actually want to, and they've asked for my address, and some people are very appreciative. Some people have made $10,000, $20,000, and they're like, hey, thanks for your call, man. Go treat yourself to a nice lunch, and who doesn't love to be treated to a nice lunch, right? So let's talk about Ripple, okay? But before we talk about Ripple, on this screen here, let me just pull up my other bitfinex screen here because I want to have access to my EMA. So let's talk about everything from the beginning, basically, okay? So if we look at here, what we're seeing on the daily is that we are trending upwards, right? We're absolutely trending upward, and it's looking phenomenal. And we're leveling off a little bit, that I have to admit right here on the histogram. In fact, we're slowly, slightly down ticking, right? So don't discount for a moment that a correction is still not possible, right? We have to make sure that we keep all options on the table. And let's go take a look at coin market cap here as well. So coin market cap here, we're now sitting at about $46.7 billion for Ripple. The market cap finally reached over $500 billion, guys. I've been talking in my past videos that 500 billion is a kind of a sweet number right now, right? Before we were at about 800 billion, and now we're slowly getting more money put into the market. I think a lot of investors are hopping on. They're realizing that, hey, this is a really good opportunity to start hopping in there. If you guys take a look at the volume, right, it's still relatively low compared to before. For example, yesterday we did 568 million only, and then just in the past 24 hours, with about 3 hours to go, we're averaging about $1.1 billion. So we're up about 5% total. Now, I know 5% may not seem like a lot to people, but I think any digit green is very respectable. And you have to keep in mind that if you're day trading a $10,000, $20,000 position like I am, 5% is huge, right? 5% is 500 of 10 grand. it's $1,000 of $20,000, right? So awesome. Market cap is slowly trickling up here. We were at 39, 42, 40, 41, 44. And yeah, just positive good news all around. We're now at $46 billion, right? So we've added about $2 billion in the past 24 hours alone. So let's look at the moving average on the daily chart and do a quick candlestick analysis right here, guys. So we're going to do a quick candlestick analysis. And if you guys take a look at it, it looks like it wants to cross over soon, right? To the 55 moving average, at least right there. So that's always a good sign. We don't really have any other indicators that we can go by other than right here. Take a look at this line, right? If you guys notice right here, this is why we're getting a lot of resistance right now. We're getting a lot of resistance because of this major line right there. Okay, take a look. This is one key area that offered resistance. This is another key area that offers support. Key area right there as well, where it rejected as support. Here as well. Here as well. So there's a lot of different areas where 1.6, 1.7 is going to act as resistance, right? Here as well, if you guys notice, it's trying to break it right here. So these areas, we're now trending in a zone that's acting as a major resistance and as a support at the same time on the daily chart. So the daily RSI is now in a fairly neutral zone around 50. We wanted to break well above 60 to consider it an uptrend. Now, if we take a look at here, we're actually finding very nice RSI support that's bullishly diverging. If you guys see it break out of this channel, please be worried. Or not channel, but this right here, please be worried. We see it definitely wedging sort of, right? Like this. It's just trending upwards. I wouldn't really say it's wedging, but it's definitely finding support along this region right here. No doubt about it, right? Pretty awesome. So we want this to break well above 60. Next RSI resistance zone is about, yeah, we're about right there, finding some resistance there. So let's go look at the daily, other charts here as well. MACD, it's still positively ticking up. We might even get a slight correction downwards, and then eventually we'll move up to higher highs, in my opinion. I'm fairly neutral. I'm getting more bullish on it, put it that way. Short term, there might be a small correction coming, but long term, I'm definitely bullish on it again, right? I know that the fundamentals, we're not going to argue about that, and I know I've voiced my opinion before about the fundamentals, but now I've only got the charts to go by, right? Only got the charts to go by, so I want to focus on what I see, and what I see is that yesterday's close, long wick to close off, but today, so far, what we have to acknowledge is the volume, guys. In the past 6 hours, it's pretty low, right? How's the volume in the past day? It's actually much better than yesterday. And yesterday, actually, we bounced off of it twice. We bounced off of the 21 moving average here, which is actually a really good sign as well. On a 1 hour chart, when we go down lower, we see a huge uptrend. This is where it was, guys. I recommended, if you guys remember, the stop loss right here, 109, okay? What price was the low? Check out the low right there, 111, right? Excuse me, 111, check out the low there, 110.3, right? 110.6. So we were pretty close to getting stopped out, but that was the key part right there. That was so freaking awesome, guys. I'm so happy that everyone got there. We almost reached our second target around 122.76. And we're going to go over all of that as well. So if you guys took this trade opportunity that I highly suggested, you would have entered around 109, 110, and you guys could have made yourself an 8% gain. That's huge, guys. If you played $1,000, you would have made yourself an easy $80. If you played 5 grand, you would have made 160. If you played 10 grand, you would have made, or sorry, if you played 5 grand, you would have made like $400. If you played 10 grand, you would have made $800. If you played 20 grand, you would have made $1,600. So, whew, lots of volume. But now we see the volume slowly fading off, right? And we almost see it looking like it wants to eventually cross over. So that is concerning me a little bit, absolutely. So we got to go over this in fine detail right now to see what are the next steps. So let's talk about a quick review here of what happened yesterday. This is my chart. Very messy, isn't it? It's very messy, but you guys have to realize that this meticulousness of mine, it is what's making us money, right? I'm not saying I'm making money for you guys, but I'm saying it is the reason why my charts are clean, and it's the reason why I'm able to analyze the way I do technical analysis. You have to be very meticulous with your charts. If people are telling me things like, oh, can you just summarize it in a 5-minute video? We want to buy and sell signal with prices. Nah. You guys keep being the people who want short videos. You guys keep failing at crypto, okay? I'm going to be as meticulous as I possibly can be because I'm going to be much more diligent than the people who are asking that. And I know that there's going to be a lot of lazy people out there, and I am not lazy at all. I've got a very strong work ethic, and I will put in tears, blood, and sweat into my charts, and I will beat it down to death. And I will make sure that I understand it much better than the other guy. Why? Because this is a competition. This is the fiercest competition in the world, and we have to make sure that we stay one step ahead of all the lazy people out there. So no, guys, you're not going to get simple charts from me ever, because I'm going to make sure that I put in this hard work always to be better than you. Put it that way, okay? I will make sure the people that are asking me for simple charts, no, guys, I will always be better than you. No offense, because I'm putting in the hard work, okay? So you guys need to understand that. And the people that are watching my charts, that are watching this video from front to back, you guys are the people that are gonna freaking dominate in this game, I assure you, okay? You have to make sure, guys, that you're better than the competition. If you're not better than the competition, then they're going to be better than you, and you guys are going to see how clearly they are able to profit more than you and just be one step ahead always. So this is why I put in some ridiculous amount of work into my charts, okay? So let's go over this now. So the trade setup was right here, crystal clear. It was this guy right here, the first one, with a risk to reward ratio of 1.6. So you were basically risking, a risk to reward ratio of 1.6. Had a chance to gain 3.59% and a chance to lose 2.24%, right? And these entry prices and also the targets are very loose. Of course, you guys could have targeted whatever you wanted, right? It's up to you guys to figure out what you would want to target, and it's up to you guys to know when to take profit. These are just general guidelines always. So let's keep going here. I'm going to delete this now, okay? Now that we actually successfully took that trade, I'm going to absolutely delete it now. So now what we see first of all is that we have a clearly defined support zone right here. This trendline support going up. We have a, don't discount for a moment that it might fail, okay? If Bitcoin corrects further, we'll see it fall into this support zone, no doubt about it, right? So just to be very clear, and the support zone, a major one, is between 96 cents and $1, psychological $1, okay? And I was mentioning earlier that a key breakout above 115, it'll eventually signal a rally to 122.76. But we actually only got to about 120.7, so we're about 2 cents off so far right now. And a key breakout above 122.76 will signal a rally to about 132, 135. But that could be farther down the road. But don't ever forget that failure can absolutely occur in the market, okay, guys? And you have to remember a lot of key tips, like make sure you guys are winning over time. Don't ever focus on winning just one small trade. Focus on the game of probability. Stick to your stop losses. Ladder those profits at the top. Consider re-entering on dip. Ladder to minimize your risk. It allows us to take profit and decreases our exposure. And a critical criteria of a breakout is volume, right? We have to make sure that we have volume always. And always keep in mind, guys, that I'm not a financial advisor, just sharing my thoughts, right? Just a normal guy sharing my thoughts. You guys do whatever you please. It's your risk, it's your choice, it's your accountability if you're losing money, okay? If you guys are gonna cry to me about you lost money because of my charts, well, guess what, guys? You might have cried about losing money on this one specific chart, but guess what? I'm winning over time, no matter what, on all 10, 20 of my charts. So even if I lose one tiny little trade, I don't care. And if you guys are going to complain about it, you simply don't have the mentality to understand that this game, we win over time. And always remember that I'm a very firm kind of teacher, guys, okay? I'm very slack. I'm very easygoing when it comes to my personality. I'm joking around, but when it comes to hard work and ethic and accountability, I'm a very different person because I do not believe whatsoever in holding other people accountable for your own actions. Those are called excuses, okay? They're called excuses. First of all, if the people ever blame me for losing, well, you got to blame yourself for trusting a third party to begin with, and you got to blame yourself for not being able to trust yourself and make your own decisions. So if you're going to follow someone blindly, definitely never do it, guys, okay? You have to make sure that you take all of my information with a grain of salt. If you follow it blindly, like, it would also imply that you're not willing to put in the hard work to learn how to do these things yourself. And eventually it will lead to a catastrophic failure because you just are not able to manage your own positions and your own risk. So that's really important. So this is now a major support zone just around here, okay? I'm going to call it around 111, right here, 111 to 114, right here. It's really hard to see it, but I'll clean it up for you guys, okay? Major support zone if the impulse wave fails. And the critical resistance breakout above 115, success, bam. Now this region is now considered a critical resistance, or sorry, critical resistance and the support. So this blue line right here, actually I'll make it purple here. This purple line right here is now a fairly critical support, right? Or it's trying to act as it. I'm going to drag it down a little bit, actually. Just like around right there, right? It's acting now as a support region, and we'll get into why in just a few moments. And I'm saying that if we do break above 115, which we have, we're going to eventually target 122.7. So why is it 122.7? It's because of this right here. Whoops, I didn't want to delete that. It's this right here, this area right here, that's the high of this candle. Right here. This is the high. That's 122.7. That's why now this entire zone, guys, this entire zone right there is now a resistance slash support zone, right? So how is this target derived for the one right over around here up to $1.35? It's derived from waves 1 and 2, fib extension slightly above 261.8, because wave 3 over here hits slightly above 261.8, okay? Hit slightly above there. So now we're waiting for another impulse wave up, and let's see how high this can get. We have no idea where, but I'm guessing it's between somewhere, and it's not over here, guys, okay? I'm only putting it here to show you guys the price range. It doesn't mean it's going to be all the way down over there in terms of price. So make sure you guys understand how to read my charts as well. That's very important that we understand. I had a bunch of people saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to hold Bitcoin till, you know, 11,800 or 200, and people don't realize that those are parts of other wave extensions, right? Just as an example, we have to make sure that we know how to read it very well. So if a breakout occurs above 122, which is above this high right here, we're going to easily target 132 to 135. And we have to understand that this region now that we're in, take a look at it, guys. We broke above it, right? This is a critical point right here. I'm just going to make an arrow to show you. Where's my arrow? See right here? Okay, see right there as well? That's a little bit big. These points right there, not accounting for the wick, is actually acting as a very strong support now, right? So it looks like some sort of flag consolidation almost, and it's bouncing off of where the ascending triangle I thought was going to be, right? That I drew this ascending triangle a long time ago, and now here we are. So this is the major support zone, which is just taking into account an average area roughly, right? At the 114 end to the 111 end right here. So I think we pretty much covered everything already. Excuse me. What we expect next now is for it to trend in this particular zone. Right around here. We expect it to trend in this particular zone for a while. We don't know how long, but it wants to stay in this zone right here. And I'm gonna actually just draw this red over here, because I think that it's very important to distinguish between the different colors of support and resistance zone. So I'm gonna call this major support zone right here, okay? Between the 111 and the 114 range right here. So this was quite awesome that we hit these targets. Once again, we got the general target range up here, 122.76 to 135. If a breakout occurs, this one here, no problem. We can delete that now. we got this general range right here. We don't know if it's even going to break above here. No idea at all. That's why we want to use it as a general guideline to see if it could possibly form a double top. Well, if it can form a double top, then that would be bad trouble. Just put it that way, okay? So we know exactly how we derive that target. We know that it needs to break out. I'm just gonna delete some of this. Resistant. I'm just gonna write resistance zone. Resist. I don't know how to spell that today for some reason. Brain fart moment. So this is now the resistance zone right here. Makes sense, guys? This is a resistance zone because we indicated this arrow above the ascending triangle where I thought it was going to be pretty much, okay? Just around these regions right here. Right here as well. We're taking just the body end of the wick rather than the whole wick itself. So this whole area acts as a really nice support zone. Around 114 to the 111 area. Now don't discount for a moment, guys, that like this right here could be a support as well, right? This could be a support right around the 107 range, which we'll talk about that as well. If it gets closer to this 107, make sure you guys remember this. And this is derived from right here. I should actually make this as well. This is the lower support zone between 96 right here. So I drew it a little bit nicer here. So we have our first support zone between 111 and 114. Our second support zone is about 107. And our third support zone is 96.18 to $1 right here. And support one is, we talked about how it was derived already. So I'm just going to delete some of this here just to clean it up here. Support zone 2 is from that peak and this entire bottom right here intersecting the 55 EMA and the channel support at 107. And support 3 right here is just derived from this general area right there between 100 and 161.8 and also a psychological number as well. And we also, I think we have everything, right guys? I think we targeted everything. We went over everything. Sometimes I repeat myself because I want to be very thorough to make sure that I don't forget anything for you guys. And don't forget that target 5 here is not where it is for the timeline. It's just to give you guys a gauge of the price. So make sure you guys understand how to read these charts, all right? So I'm still looking for a fifth wave, guys. I'm still looking for a fifth wave because the third one was very extended. So the fifth one could come anytime soon. And I think that this one is just the first or the second subwave of the next one to come. So we just got to be very patient. I'm not in the position at all for Ripple right now. What I am waiting for is for basically, I might take this position right here, right? I might take this one right here, enter around, 116 to 117, and I'll get stopped out at 113, which actually ends up going to my support zone 1 right here. But, we can target 122, 25. We're only risking 1.75% of our money, which is actually not a lot at all. And then we have a chance to gain 5.73. So I might take up this trade, I might not. And here's the next one as well, right? I mean, you guys can even go higher than that. You can target all the way up to here. So if you wanted to be aggressive and you targeted, for example, not 117, sorry, where am I targeting here? Whoops, I actually put in the wrong one here. This is entry price 1.6. Yeah, this one is 1.6 right here. Let's move this down a little bit. There we go. So this one is entering at 1.6 and you're targeting 1.225 roughly. Okay. Assume a double top at least just to be conservative and stopped out at 1.3. This is a pretty good risk to reward right here. Decent, I'd say. Definitely decent. Okay, so I cleaned up my chart here quite a bit. Now this one is one that I might end up entering. Okay, it's a pretty decent risk to reward ratio of 2.17 to 1 here. So I would be looking at entering around now actually 116 to 117. Tight stop, guys, tight stop. 113 right here is its stop, which would fall back into my lower support zone here if it does end up breaking, right? If it ends up breaking down. And now your target is still $1.25. Assume a double top, first of all. Chance to gain 5.6%, pretty decent. Chance to lose 2.59%. So it's actually a pretty big loss despite the good risk to reward ratio, right? So you have to keep that in mind as well if you're comfortable or not. Basically, you're risking for every $1,000, you're risking, or say 10,000, right? For myself, you're risking $560, or sorry, you're risking 2.17%. That's your ratio for a chance to win $560, and then you have a chance to lose $259. You guys need to understand what risk to reward is, okay? Not every single trade is going to be a winning trade. That is something we really, really need to understand, guys. This is what separates the amateurs from the professionals. Understanding the math behind it. It blows me away how people are so fixed on finding the perfect exit, perfect entry, finding the right setup, finding the right pattern. But yet on my YouTube, risk management is literally the lowest views. It blows me away how everyone's always looking at things like finding setups. People are not even watching my live trading videos. I mean, why are you guys not watching that, right? It's got the lowest view counts as well. It's actually putting the theory into practice. And a lot of people have said things like, oh, you're just showing off in your live trading videos. It's like, okay, if you think that I'm showing off and it affects your ego, then you're not really willing to learn, guys. You have to make sure that you guys focus on the theory part that I'm trying to teach in all of my videos. Focus on watching me apply all these theories in my live trading videos, and especially focus on risk management. I kid you not, if anyone were to ask me, what is the most important aspect of trading? Hands down, I would tell them risk management. Risk management is by far the absolute most important aspect of trading. If you cannot manage your money, how do you plan to keep it, right? If you cannot even manage your money, how do you retain it in any way? This is super important, this concept that we need to focus on winning over time. We don't care about the one trade that we've lost, guys. For example, in November, when I kept my public track record there, where I had a 90% win, people bit my head off for the two losses that I had out of 20. Like, guys, okay, I made whatever X amount of money and I lost a fraction of what I won. So why should I be upset about the small amount that I lost, right? So please understand that we play the game of probability and we want to make sure that we're profitable over time. So the next position here, I mean, this one here, guys, you can also target higher, right? I don't know if it'll be possible to actually hit it, but let's say you ended up targeting up there. Now you got a chance to gain pretty significant amount here at 13.79%. But this is much more aggressive, we have to keep in mind. Just because we make the risk to reward higher doesn't mean that it's not as aggressive. We have to understand that we need to ladder our profits and we have to make sure that our risk is reduced and managed in some way. We have to make sure if we go for these aggressive approaches, we know how to shed risk, we know how to add more onto our position, and laddering these buys are extremely important. Now the next one, right, this is a possible setup as well right here, okay? I'm not going to deny that's a possible setup, which I might even recommend, but you guys have to make sure that you're the judge of what is comfortable to you, okay, in terms of acceptable risk, right? This next setup is decent as well, okay? This next setup is definitely, actually, you know what? I'm going to move this down here. I'm going to move this here, and I'm actually going to write in on this one here, entering at 1.9 or so. Or sorry, not 1.9, 0.23, like that. I'm going to actually clone this one here. I'm going to put this one here at entering at 1.6 as well, like somewhere around here, right? Sorry about that. Okay. And then we're gonna go for an aggressive one here, so you guys can make the choice of which one it seems best to you, right? So this one's at 1.6 as well. This one here would be going for a more aggressive approach, 32. Okay. And now I'm gonna move this over just so you guys can get an idea, like that. It's a pretty decent position, I'd say, as well. Works out either way. So it just doesn't really matter which one. I'm definitely going to be interested in it either way for a long position. In terms of shorting, I don't really know yet. I have no idea what my short targets are even going to be. I'm not thinking of even shorting Ripple yet, but I probably should, right? I should probably think of shorting Ripple because there is a chance that we completely break it as well, which I will cover in my next few videos. So this one is still set at 1.3 here, 2.59, going for a little bit more aggressive. So this one's now at, what is it, 5.33 risk to reward, okay? So we're now targeting 32 cents. This one is 5.33, but this one requires lots of managing risk. So I just wanted to be very clear in there as well for the people that are interested in one of these ones. So we play the game of probability and we ask ourselves, which is a better setup for us? It's really up to you guys. It really is. This is this one here I'm going to say is lower probability. Actually, I shouldn't write any of that stuff in here. I'm just going to delete all of this. This is how I want you guys to be able to see how I also put in my charts, right? How I'm analyzing. So I'm not gonna cut out any scenes here and do it behind the scenes. This is how I manage my charts. This is how I consider all of my setups here. And this is how we try to play the game of probability to see if we can focus on winning over time. Okay. That's decent, right? What do you guys think of these setups? Pretty good? That's pretty much accounting for every possible scenario right now. I cannot even think of any that I've missed right now. Seems pretty good to me. Yeah, definitely. So quick summary again, okay? Support zones, 96 cents to $1. Support, that's support 3. Support 2 is about 107. And support zone 1 is about 111 to 114, okay? Now this is the resistance zone that we're in right now. We're getting a lot of resistance zone because it's trending in this area right now where we broke here and we broke here. So now it becomes a resistance zone. Must break, I'm going to say must break target. Must break target. There we go. Does that make sense so far? Okay. It must break that number right here. Must break 122.76 in order for us to even get a chance to uptrend to these higher regions right here to $1.32 to $1.35, okay? Target is roughly between there. Wave 1 and 2, fib extension is taken slightly above 261.8, okay? Because target 1 hit slightly above, or sorry, slightly below, I meant. Actually, no, we can do that. Slightly above 161.8, and now slightly above 261.8 as well. And then waves 3 to 4, slightly less than the 1-to-1 wave extension. So we're actually targeting right in between here as well, which is actually perfect, and it couldn't get any better. So we're boxing ourselves in these specific zones right here. So I find that these risk to reward setups are pretty good, and I think we have covered absolutely everything, right? We have covered if Bitcoin does correct, or if these wave failures happen, what are some support zones to look into? And if it does end up correcting, guys, basically all of these risk to reward setups right now that we have here, they're completely off the table, okay? Completely off the table, and we have to reevaluate further to see. So we're basically planning to go into a long position, right? And we're planning to go long position because we're bullish bias. And because we're bullish bias right now, we have to accept the fact that it's possible for us to even not hold in these regions, okay? And if it doesn't hold in these regions, then what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to reevaluate as it gets down to these lower support zones. Does that make sense, guys? I hope it really does make sense. So make sure that you guys understand that if it does fall once again, it might fall to one of these support zones, and then we simply evaluate again. Make sure you guys stick to your stop losses very well. There's no point of not sticking to your stop loss. I'm going to make sure that I post this as well on Steemit. Make sure you guys go to Steemit to get my general bias. You're going to miss out on a lot of the blog information, and I'm genuinely here to help you guys out, okay? 100% here to help you guys out, but we need to understand that this is all an if and only if mathematical statement, right? it can only happen if and only if these criteria are met. Just think of it like that, right? If this happens, then this happens. But in order for A to happen, B must happen, right? So we have to follow these laws as well. So I think we've literally covered everything. I'm super happy for you guys once again, all right? I'm so happy that man, my Twitter's been on fire lately, right guys? You guys see my ICX call? I don't know if I pumped it or not. I didn't mean to, I swear. But my goodness, guys, like every single target of mine has just been smashed, you know? We're hitting it with precision. Bitcoin, we're hitting it at 10,750. Ripple, we just nailed it. ICX, we just nailed it. Litecoin, we nailed it. Ethereum Classic, we nailed it, guys. Can you guys remember the last time that I made a bad call? Not to pat myself in the back, but I'm talking about a bad call on Twitter with my short-term day trading positions. I would love someone to call me out on that because, man, I just am feeling so confident and so happy that you guys are just making a lot of money and my Twitter is blowing up and it's on fire with people who are saying things like, I've made so much money because of you. Thank you for the call. Like, wow, that's like the best feeling in the world. People are making me thank you videos to show me how appreciative they are with all the information that they're getting. Like, man, it's just been overwhelming so far, guys. Have you guys noticed that I'm a really, really excited, enthusiastic person? I had one sip of my coffee, just one sip, and I feel myself just on fire right now. Woo! Let's make some more money, guys. Enjoy my charts. I love you all. Please go to Steam it and upvote the content. I would love you guys even more if you did that. Make sure you also like, subscribe. Make sure you guys are subscribing to me on YouTube. Follow me on Twitter. I want to make sure you guys have the best information always. And if you guys have killed it in some of my plays, you guys know what to do. Just make sure Luna stays extra drunk. And I'm counting on you guys to make sure that her crypto piggy bank is always full so she can buy herself a little bit of vodka here and there, a little bit of tequila, and you know, whatever other stuff she wants. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the future, and thank you very much for the love and support, and congratulations everybody, once again, for making an incredible play with me. So make sure you guys are joining me through this incredible journey in 2018 while I take you guys through some amazing plays that we're going to call out together. Bye now.